So he's talking here now from the perspective of the vineyard. I too am a vineyard, my fruit shall be gathered for the winepress, and I shall be kept in eternal vessels. So we've got a vineyard, we've got fruit, we've got a winepress, we've got wine, and we've got the eternal vessels. So it's easy to understand because it's such a common thousands-year-old practice to make wine. What does the vineyard represent in your personality or in your life, in your experience? What does the fruit represent? What is the winepress, the wine? And what are the vessels? What is an actual vineyard? It's the soil and the vines and the structures that hold the vines up, and it's the plants themselves. So you can think of the vineyard as the soil, the structures, and the growth. Your personality in the world. The soil you can think of as not just your environment that you're actually in, but your inner environment as well. So in certain types of soil, this plant will thrive. In a different type of soil, the same plant cannot thrive. In an environment of gratitude, certain types of thoughts cannot thrive. Selfish thoughts just wither and die. They can't sustain themselves. So the vineyard, perhaps you can think of as your life, your whole personality, and the environment in which it lives. The fruit is the action. And in the Christian Bible, Christ uses that analogy. He says, by its fruits shall you know it. How will I know which is the right tree? By its fruits. How will I know who the good person is? By his fruits you will know, by his actions. The final expression of our thought is action. The final expression of the seed is the fruit. So I am a vineyard. I am a phenomenon of conscious life, and my actions shall be gathered for the winepress. So what is the winepress? Well, perhaps we can take one step forward to help us understand what the winepress might look like, and instead now look at the wine. If the fruit is my actions, then what might the wine be? So the wine is the distillation of the fruit. You take the stems and the stalks and the skins and the seeds, and they get discarded. It's the juice that gets separated out. That's the valuable part. It gets distilled down, if you like, sort of to use that phrase. So what is it that is the real essence of your work compared to the stuff which can be discarded, which is not essential? So the essence as it pertains to the external environment is the impact that it has. That's the real meaningful part of action from that perspective. And from the perspective of the individual, the essential or most meaningful or impactful part of your action is your intention. That's what you impress back onto your personality. So if wine is the essence of your actions, that is to say the lasting impact on your personality and the external environment, then what is the wine press? Time, causation. Causes evolve into their effects across time according to laws of causation. And that wine is kept in eternal vessels. So you take the most meaningful, impactful part of your work, and it's retained in these vessels eternally. So there's a beautiful way of thinking about this from the Jewish tradition, which is that immortality means to live on in the hearts and the memories of your community. And so there is a strong culture of charity, of doing good works, because it's the path to immortality. Think about someone like Martin Luther King Jr. Think of all of the stuff that he did. Now there's some non-essential bits and pieces that were part of it, but there were some essential parts of his work. That's the wine, and it lives on in the hearts and the memories of society. And it will continue to echo in the structures that are created because of his work. It lives on eternally. His work echoes through history and will continue to do so. So again, it's looking at yourself within the context of something much larger, seeing yourself as part of this infinite history. Just as I slay the beast, so I will be slain. Recognizing that I'm part of the cycle of nature. The apple becomes my body, I become food for the apple tree. And recognizing that this little life that I have will be echoed eternally. And let there be in the song a remembrance for the autumn days and for the vineyard and for the winepress. So again, the relationship to wine now. In the winter, when you draw the wine, let there be in your heart a song for each cup. So you're not just drinking the wine and enjoying the taste. You are relating to nature in a very different way. Not just nature in terms of soil and plants and animals, but nature meaning the entire phenomenon of the cosmos and its intelligent movement forward, and I'm just a part of this. But being part of it, I'm also the whole. So in having this kind of attitude towards food, what we're doing is dissolving complacency, dissolving the ego. And now when we enjoy our food, we'll be much more inclined to be thankful for what we have and to tend away from the unnecessary or avoidable harm that comes with keeping ourselves alive. We're no longer disconnected from the soil, from the plants, and from the beasts and their experience that goes into nourishing this body. Would that you could live on the fragrance of the earth and, like an air plant, be sustained by the light. But since you must kill to eat and rob the newly born of its mother's milk to quench your thirst, let it then be an act of worship. And let your board stand an altar on which the pure and the innocent of forest and plain are sacrificed for that which is purer and still more innocent in man.